Really, really?
Really.
Go on, mate, you're going to have to get off. Shut the door behind you. There's a good lad. Oh, hang on, before you go, I forgot about something. Oh, right, mate. Come here and give me a big hug. Come here, fella. I'm really proud of you, mate. You look brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. And we're joined by Thomas and the film's director, Shane Meadows. Now, welcome, both of you. Congratulations, you. What was your life like before this extraordinary adventure that you're on?
It was, I suppose, completely different to what I've got now. I mean, I've got like a lovely family and not some like my friends. I mean, I'm still hanging around with some of the people that I did, but and I've got a lovely family, some great friends, and I suppose now I'm in school and I'm enjoying it, and I'm doing my GCSEs, and I think I like to be at school with my friends and things, and it's just like completely different.
So before you were discovered, were you a bad lad? How bad were you?
I think I was bad. I mean, we'd all like stand around the back of I don't know, I can't remember what they're called, like an old kind of block of houses.
Yeah.
And we'd all like throw stones at the broken windows to smash them more, and we'd just put windows through, and we'd just like, I don't know, just nick people's bikes and go in people's gardens and
because
bored.
Because you were bored, nothing to do.
There isn't really much to do in Grimsby, so.
And what did you get excluded from school for?
I was excluded like a number of times for swearing, smashing the classrooms up, like throwing chairs around, and just being a nuisance and like disrupting everyone. And
what do you think of yourself now, when you look back at yourself, as you are now, when you look back at that guy?
I think it's pathetic. I mean, now I see people doing it in school. Now I'm not like that, which I know that people must have looked at me like that, and I think it's just ridiculous and immature. I think it's quite, I mean, I know I used to do it, and it used to be fun when I was doing it, but now I don't think it's so clever, and I think it's quite silly when people do it, but I know I can't say anything to them because I used to do it myself, so.
Meanwhile, at home things were quite difficult because you're one of four, you're the youngest, aren't you? 4 children, and your parents separated, but then your mum was very seriously ill, and did you know how ill she was?
I mean, we'd always knew that she was quite ill because of the way she couldn't breathe properly, she couldn't do anything really. I mean, she'd always leave it down to me and my brothers to wash pots and cook and things like that.
Yeah.
My brother, sorry, Carl, who lived with me.
Yeah, because the other 2 brothers
lived with my
your
dad, went to live with my father, and I mean, she couldn't do much at all. I mean, she still smoked, and I don't think she wanted to. I don't know whether she knew that she was going to pass away, but it was all, I don't know, kind of difficult for me and Carl to be with her while she was really, really ill.
Well, you were so young as well, and she sadly had lung cancer, and as you say, she did die, but not before she saw your fantastic success. But because she was unwell and couldn't look after you properly, at home you had no schedule, did you? You could stay up all hours of the night, you could watch videos, you could lie in, you could not go to school if you didn't want to, you could eat rubbish food. And so when you went to this community centre, which was to help all sorts of disadvantaged children, it's called the Space Project, I think, isn't it? Which is, you now have nothing but praise for it.
I mean, I think I'm really lucky to have gone to a centre like the Space Project and meet the people that I did. I mean, it was quite nerving for me at first because there was people like me, and for the people that I hung around with, there was like me, but there was in school, and they were still going to school. But when I went to this project, there was people that wasn't in school and they wasn't bothered, exactly like me, and I thought, this is a bit weird. But I got to know them, and we got on really well, and I never hung around with them outside of the project. We'd only see each other on the days that I went there.
Yes.
So.
But this is, thank God you were there, because Shane, this is where you come in. You had an experience in the early 80s when you were a young man, that created the story for This Is England. Can you just give us that story?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I'd at 11 or 12 years old, in 1983, I myself became a skinhead, a very young one admittedly, and I got the boots and the braces, and my sister was going out with a local skinhead, and it was really sort of blossoming at the time, but skinheads that were into reggae music and ska music and oi music, but not it wasn't a race related.
Not a violent gang thing,
no,
it was just the clothes and
yeah,
stuff.
it was a fashion thing.
Which is what we saw in the clip, of course. You're getting prepared to get into the skinhead gang,
completely,
but with violent overtones.
And then I think what happened with the unemployment and things that obviously obviously I couldn't understand as a child. We started, you'd be downtown as a skinhead, and then people would come round dropping leaflets for National Front meetings, and in a town where I grew up, where there was no, you know, there was basically one Chinese family that ran the restaurant. There was no Asian kids in my school, no black kids. It was very easy to convince gangs of kids that couldn't get jobs, and then young kids like myself, that these people were causing a lot of problems. And it gave people who had nothing, although it was a false reason, it gave them a reason to sort of get involved and feel like they were doing something.
Well, there was a nasty incident, a violent incident that made you back away.
Yeah, completely. I was one of those kids, and I think, you know, you see violence in TV programmes, and a lot of the place where I grew up, a lot of people had reputations, and I almost saw myself going that way. My heroes at the time were like the Craze, Jimmy Boyle, John McVicar, you know, but I always sort of was drawn to the people that had made something of themselves, so I went the Jimmy Boyle, John McVicar route. But I thought, you know, my life was going to be, you know, a glorious journey into prison, and that I was built for that. But then I saw a skinhead from a different side of the tracks who actually beat somebody up almost for my entertainment, and it was the most horrific thing I'd ever seen, and it repulsed me so deeply that. But I thought I wanted to go and see it, and I was actually pushing for it to happen. And
of course that story set the theme for the film. But of course you've got to find your star first of all, and you wanted to find someone who hadn't been an actor. And Tom here, the attraction was the fact that he said, well, I'll come along to the second audition, but you know, you've got to pay me a $5.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And once he realised that we obviously wanted to see him, because, like, you know, I realised he was very much like myself when the stakes kept getting up. So by the third or fourth audition, we were having to buy him games for his PS2, mobile phones, and I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be able to be like that forever, because in the end, I sort of said, if you get the job, you're going to have so much money, you can buy all these things for yourself anyway.
Yes.
So,
but great, because it wasn't someone who I want to be an actor, I want to do this. I mean, that wasn't the motivation. It was,
no,
well, if you're interested in me, then I might be interested, which is that's the attitude.
Yeah, well, we had another kid running alongside Tomo, who was a much safer bet. There was two sort of running for it, you know, and obviously, as he was at the time, he was quite rough around the edges.
Well, badly disciplined, because once you've got the job and you were on set, you had to threaten him with, well, we've got someone else if you can't do it, because getting up early in the morning and the discipline that's required on a film set was actually quite tough.
It was killing me. I mean, I couldn't handle it. I mean, I'd gone from going to bed at 4 in the morning and not getting up till 3 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, being on my computer all day, and I'd gone from that in the space of like 2 weeks to having to get up at 6 in the morning and work till whatever time Shane needed, and it was just too much for some nights, and we was all really tired, and I think it just too much for me.
So you said, I'm off, and
I said, Shane, I don't think I can do it.
And he said to you?
And he said to me, if you want to go, then we can't stop you, but we have got another kid that is willing to do it. And I thought, nah,
which of course you hadn't.
No, we hadn't. No, I told him he was in a caravan, 2 caravans down. If he'd want it, honestly, yeah, it was a risky game.
Well, now of course it's being talked about everywhere. It's a brilliant film. It won its BAFTA, you won your award and many more. You went to the Rome Film Festival, got a standing ovation, didn't even know it was for you. And you've done a few more films. You're going to keep acting, I think.
Yeah,
but in the meantime, GCSEs.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're sticking at it, and you've turned your life around.
Mm.
And now Shane's part of the family, and life is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But your brothers and your father are all together, and everything is much better.
Yeah,
and this
definitely.
is something that this is a career now, is it? You're going to stick with
I'd definitely like to pursue my acting career and do more and more, and work with Shane and all the people that I did again.
We've done a project since This Is England together, based in London, called Somerstown, which is going to be, it's a slightly shorter length film. It's about 70 minutes, but Tomo's done that, and you've worked with 3 or 4 other directors as well, haven't you? So it's a really nice thing when, you know, because sometimes kids like the kid in Kes, they come into films and then they maybe never act again. But Tomo and his with the support of his father and his family, taking him to auditions and giving up their time, they're getting in there.
It's
what a great
lovely
story
to have a happy story like that.
Yeah.
And This Is England, DVD and Sky at the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely not to be missed. I mean, it's a very, very dark tale in there, but fantastic performances, and well done you. Quite brilliant.
Nice.
Thank you. Very
stuff.
good.
Thanks.
Now then, spring is here, even if you're sitting in a snowdrift this morning. But so what better time to celebrate beautiful day dresses?
Would you excuse us, gentlemen?
Yes, excuse me.
We've just got to go over to the tea rooms.
So here with this season's key looks is stylist to the stars, Wendy Elsmore.